Hey guys, today's episode is sponsored by Dat Chat. You know it, you're a member of it. If you're not, you're missing out. It is basically an app where we could just have amazing unfiltered conversations. The text messages or things that you post basically like self-destruct in a certain amount of time. So you could set the timer. So if you wanted to self-destruct in 24 hours, 48 hours, 30 days, whatever it is. And the best part is that you can't take screenshots. So it's been a really cool place for the T Tribe to connect. I know we were using it a lot during my live show. We could live chat different shows as they go on. So make sure that you download Dat Chat and join my group. It's Spill the Tea with Publicity, and we could chat. It's on, it's App Store. So if you have Android, iPhone, whatever, or you could use their website, but come on, download the app. We all have smartphones at this point. So I hope to chat to you guys there. And let's get into today's episode. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the pod. Jill's here.
Hi.
So I just figured for this week's episode, it's kind of a weird, end of the year vibe where I'm off of work this week. You're off of work this week.
Thank God.
I think most people are. If you're not, God bless. I feel bad. Yeah. But it's that weird in between where I'm feeling like I should be relaxing because I'm off, but I can't relax because I can't stop thinking about the new year and what I want to accomplish and what I want to do. And I think that's maybe the Capricorn in me knows that my time is coming. It's we're on the cusp of Capricorn season.
When you say my time is coming, it sounds dark.
It is Capricorn season and it's upon us, and I think maybe the Capricorn in me is just time to get your shit together, but I don't know. So anyway, so this week I really want to focus on a little end of the year recap and talk about these vision boards that Jill and I have created. This is our fourth year. We've done them 3 years. And if you're watching on YouTube, you could see them. This is probably a good episode to watch on YouTube because it's visual. So we have created vision boards. This will be our 4th year doing it. And it's really, I haven't looked at my vision board from 2021. Oh my God, where have the years gone? And really talked about what I've crossed off of it.
I don't think of it so much as a to-do list of what you crossed off of it, but more so because I feel what we put on our boards, well, we do them kind of differently. You put more tangible things, I feel and I put more words.
I'm a psychopath.
Don't say that. You're not a psychopath.
No, because
that's just how we are manifesting.
No, but my therapist always is you need a to-do list.
Yeah.
I'm very action oriented, which is so weird because I was thinking every year we make a word. Well, I think you've done it too. Yeah. I make a word, and this past year for 2021 was progress, which is written on my board. And I was thinking how my word for 2022, I wanted to be action.
Ooh.
But is that negative since I'm such an action oriented person? We can get into it, but I think I want my word to be action.
Okay.
So let me talk you guys through it. How we do this is, I think usually we do it right before New Year's or right after New Year's. We'll go to a CVS and buy poster board and then different varieties of magazines. So you could do fitness magazine, shape magazine for more of the manifesty stuff. And
they're
then,
a little bit more inspirational.
Yeah, quote based.
And then definitely get yourself a Cosmo because they have all the sex and boyfriend, dating, all of that. And then we do love a good People in Touch because they have good ads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just do a variety of magazines. Get some tape or glue and poster board, and you just start kind of cutting things together. And a
glue stick.
Glue stick, yeah. I kind of segment mine into work, personal life, dating, health, wellness. You could do it however you want, but I feel you kind of theme yours too, right?
Yeah. I always weirdly I always put the year in the top corner. I always start there, and then I always have a work section, a romance section, a family personal section. Money section. Yeah.
I was saying to Jill, I might want to take some of the things off of this year's board and put it on next year's board, because I think like you said, my downfall is I look at these as like a year to do, but this is like a life to do.
Yeah, things don't happen. You don't check everything off in a year.
Your eyelashes look beautiful.
Oh, I didn't know what you were signaling.
Gorgeous. Yeah, like I don't do everything in a year, so I think what I kind of want to do is start making like a life board versus like a year board, if that makes sense.
Okay. That kind of like intimidates me. Like that's a log.
I don't mean my whole life. I mean like a 5-year plan.
Okay. It's like very tactical, I think.
I know. I guess okay, this is why I say this. I wish my therapist was on this. This is why I say this. Like, if I put love on here, it could happen in 1 to 2 years. Like, hopefully, I hope it happens next year. But I guess my point, or like kids, like it doesn't need to happen within a certain year.
Right.
So I guess my point is, like, I wish I could be more broad with it.
Yeah.
And I wish certain things could carry over, because certain things aren't year by year based.
Right. But I think you don't have to put them all. I don't think you have to put everything that you want in your life on one board. I think it's like a good, like, what do you want to happen to you? What do you want to accomplish over the next year?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll talk you through some of my items. I think the things that, like, you guys will think is the most interesting. So when I made this board in January, I was in contracting with my current job. So, like,
that was crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. So, like, I knew it was going to kind of happen, but I also, the, like, pessimist in me and, like, the anxiousness in me was nervous. You wouldn't be
excited until it was signed, sealed, delivered.
No, so I was still manifesting it, even though it was, like, underway. So a lot of this, it's funny because... Okay, so there's all these like teacups, and then it says podcast, and then it says tea time. Whoa, that's weird because I just launched that new segment called Tea Time. Whoa, I freaked out! Wait, action.
Yeah.
Guys, the word that I just said I want to make 2022, I have the word action under podcast. And then I have new star, level up, smart, risk, living out my dream. And that's also weird because I put an Instagram post yesterday saying the year I lived out my dream. Ew.
This makes me emotional.
I'm like scared. Right? Like, oh my God. Wow. It's actually really weird. And then I put unlock your most brilliant idea yet. I guess that could be Sunday Scaries.
Scandies.
Scandies books. Wow. What? Do you want to go through your work stuff? Because you had a big year with work.
I feel like there was nothing that, like, specific here. I think my word for the year was hope. And I feel like I really had to, like, lean in to, like, being optimistic, staying hopeful that things were going to, like, work out the way that they were supposed to.
You were the most, like, Jill is the most, like, what's the word for it? Like, glass half full type of girl. Like, you're very hopeful.
Like, optimistic.
Optimistic.
Yeah.
Optimistic.
Yeah, I am. Passion, like, building, growing, creative, all of that I kind of have on here because that was all important to me to lean into. I have the COVID-19 vaccine on here.
Wait, I have immunity.
We were trying to, like, get done with COVID, and now, like...
Wait, I'm dying. I literally have immunity, and now I just had COVID, and I have immunity.
That's weird.
This is freaking me out.
You know what I put on here? It's like a phrase from a magazine that I cut out, Becoming the Butterfly. And a lot of, like, I wrote the word breakthrough on here, like, 3 times. I feel like a lot of, like, metamorphosis, change, like, kind of going through it and coming out the other side, which I feel like has been a good year for. And a lot about laughing. That's, like, very important to me. There's, like, laughter on here, like, 4 times.
Yeah, there is laughter on there a lot. Healing.
Sweat.
Run hard. You ran the marathon.
I did do that.
Yeah.
Talk it out, mind, health and wellness, vibrating higher, meditation, all of that. Therapy.
It's
the only thing that's on here that I didn't do. There's a nice big black lab on here, and I didn't get a dog, but we'll save that over for next year.
But we decided it was not the time.
Not the time.
Sad. I think in terms of making progress, which was my word of the year, I think I made so much self-progress, like, within myself, and, like, even progress with, like, when I look at myself, when I first started my job to now, I had, like, a dark few months, and I don't even think I really kind of realized I was so in it the first few months of my job because I was stressed and, like, just in it. But I was, like, it was a lot for me to go from, like, being on Instagram, having all female followers who loved me and treated me great, to, like, having trolls and people coming for me.
They were so awful.
And now within even the last few months, like, someone's trolling me today and I'm like, okay, loser. Like, I just have such thicker skin, and also I just, like, I feel like I've really made progress in my confidence with myself, because if you're confident in yourself, then you don't really care what other people think of you. Like, I know what my ideas are, I know what my intentions are, and especially this year, just, like, people blocking me, people not liking me, I've really had to, like, swallow my pride, because as someone that wants to be liked by everyone,
that's really hard.
It's kind of hard for me to be like, why don't you like me? What am I doing that's making you not like me? And I'm just kind of at the point in my life, honestly, I think working for Dave has made me kind of be like, screw everyone, because I see the way he so, like, fiercely stands by who he is, and I really appreciate that. And I feel like I've made so much progress with just being like, not everyone's gonna like me, not everyone's gonna be for me, but the people that follow me and know me know who I am. Yeah.
I think also, like, seeing your audience, like, live, like, at your live show, and, like, it's like you said, like, when you talk into a camera or a microphone, you don't really feel that audience, but, like, when you get to meet them live and you realize that, like, what you're saying is touching people and important, then I think that also kind of gives you that confidence to know that you're on the right path.
And especially just, like, hearing how many people I've helped or they've helped me, and
that's a bad idea.
I know.
Oh, God.
Just balance my coffee on the side of the couch. It's not my couch anyway. I don't know. So I think that part in terms of progress has really changed. I think the reason why I made my word progress was because I wanted to put everything I learned in 2020 into action this year. But I feel like I almost needed to make more progress with what I was learning about myself. Mm-hmm. So that kind of took more shape in the form of, like, learning more. Now I want to put action to the progress I've made. Progress was meant to mean action. Mm-hmm. But I still think I had more to learn. Do you get what I'm saying?
1,000%. And I think, but also, like, I think, like, action, you're going to keep making progress through that action, because once it's kind of like trial by fire. Like, once you start putting more things into action and press and go on them, then there'll be a lot of lessons that come out of that you'll kind of have to, like, pivot, readjust, and keep pushing forward with it.
I really feel like I want to get more in touch with my spirituality. I've been saying this for probably since I started the podcast. I feel like year 2020, I was really in touch with my spirituality during, like, the deepest, darkest times of COVID. Mm-hmm. And now you had a weird experience.
I have to tell the story.
So Jill had a weird psychic experience, but really quick.
Yes.
I've been seeing 11:11.
I've seen it the last 2 weeks. I've seen it twice a day. Every single day.
Same.
No, you know what else
but
happened?
Do you think it's because we're entering this new year?
I don't know. I'm not asking questions. I'm just trying to be open and embrace it all. But I realized, I'm going to tell you what happened to me yesterday.
Yeah, but Jack, my psychic, told me that when I see 11:11, it's my grandma, my guardian angel.
Yes.
So whenever I see it, I just say, hi, Grammy.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Always. And then I say hi to my poppy and my other grandpa.
I love that.
I know, because I'm like, they're with me.
That's the whole point, is that you feel it, like,
but I've been feeling it. I've been seeing it a lot lately, and I'm like, why?
It's just like a reminder. Sometimes even, like you said, like, when you're going, not saying that you're in a dark time right now, but, like, when you're in a dark time, you don't realize that you're in the dark time. Mm. And so sometimes it's just, like, that comfort, that reminder that you didn't know you needed at that moment.
I feel like I'm in, like, a phase of regrowth again.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden. I don't know what shifted, but I feel like a spiritual shift, and also just, like, a desire. Like, I've been meditating. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try, me and Alex from work, although she had a stomach bug, so I don't think she's started. We were saying we want to meditate more this year. And
I think that's amazing.
I did yesterday and the day before, and I have to do it today. I've done just 5-minute morning meditations, just 5 minutes, just to start, because I'm not going to be unrealistic. And, like, I just love it. I love it.
It puts you in such a good mindset to, like, go through the day.
All right, tell me about your psychic.
Okay, so 2 parts to this. So a couple of years ago, probably like 4 years ago now, I was interviewing for the job that I have now, and I had been wanting to change jobs for a while, and it was like such a frustrating process. I'll never forget this. I was walking out of Equinox, the gym, walking home, disgusting, sweaty, did not want to see anyone, talk to anyone, and this woman stops me on the street corner, and she's like, excuse me, like, can I do a psychic reading for you?
I forgot about this.
And I was like, no thanks, like, please.
How much do you want?
I'm so sweaty. And she was like, you don't have to pay me, I just, like, there's a message coming and I have to tell you. And I was like, okay, like, what's the message? Like, it was nothing like that had ever happened to me before. And she was like, I just wanted to let you know, like, something that you really want to happen, it's about to happen, just, like, keep, like, thinking positive, like, you got this, and, like, I just, like, the universe wants me to tell you that this is going to happen.
I could cry.
And I got home, and I was just like, what was that? Like, it was just, I don't really have the words. It just, like, it's New York City. Like, people are wild. Like, sometimes, you know, this woman was not, like, she didn't look like crazy or homeless or anything like that. She was just, like, a normal woman who just, like, stopped me in my tracks to tell me that, like, she had a good feeling about me. It was bizarre. And then, like, what were you going to say?
I had the same thing happen to me. When I switched jobs, and it's just weird that we both heard that at pivotal times in our life.
It is so weird.
When I switched jobs from working in PR full-time, I quit to be an influencer. I obviously was feeling a lot of emotions of, like, am I making the right choice? Like, I'm taking a huge risk. And I was in between jobs. I'd given my 2 weeks, and then I was starting my influencer job in 2 weeks. And I was, during that time, I had a few days off of work. And I was walking, doing influencery things, going to, like, a glow bar, like, something to get, like, a blowout and whatever. And I stopped in an LPQ, Le Pan Quotient, or whatever it's called. And this man came up to me, and he was like, Melissa? And I was like, no. And I'm thinking, like, did I just say my name at the counter? Mm-hmm. Like, and I was like, no, it's Alyssa. And he's like, oh, yeah. I knew, like, I thought it was something like that. I've told you this. Yes. And I was like really taken aback, because, like, this is before I was super spiritual to this extent that, like, I almost felt like infringed on. Like, I almost felt, it feels kind of overbearing or something.
Like a little creepy almost.
Yeah, so I was like, and then I sit down next to him because it was like a shared communal table, and he was like,
I remember this.
He was like, what you do right now, it's like a hybrid, like you're working 2 jobs. And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, and, like, one's about to stop and the new one's about to begin. And I was like, what the, like, again, this is before I'd ever seen psychics or anything, so I was really closed off. Mm-hmm. Like, now I would have been like, tell me more, deliver me messages.
Same.
Like,
I was not open, like.
And I think he read my energy that I was freaked out, so he kind of was, like, being timid, and I was like, I just, like, kind of, like, rushed to leave, but he said something like, yeah, what you're doing, like, you're about to start something new, and he just, like, knew. I can't explain it, but he knew information about me.
Yes.
And I have never had experience.
Believe that things are real. Like, like these strangers
in the middle of Bryant Park at a, like, it was just, like, I was alone. Like, it was so random, and it was at a pivotal time in my life, and so was yours. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Okay, so yesterday, so this is, like, wild. So it's the end of the year. I am so freaking close to the next level of, like, Delta status air miles. So, long story, I flew to and from Boston yesterday, like, within an hour flight of each other, just so I could get to the next level of status, which I did, thank God. So I fly to Boston yesterday morning. I went to school in Boston. I spent 4 years in Boston, okay? I know the airport like the back of my hand. I fly to Boston. I get a seat at this, like, random restaurant bar, get a drink. I bring a book and my computer with me. So I'm sitting at, like, the corner of this bar, and there was a girl, like, my age, kind of sitting at the other corner. She's reading, I'm reading. We just sit quietly and are reading our books. Nothing, you know. all of a sudden, this woman, this like middle-aged woman comes like barreling in, like just like making a scene. You know, those type of people who just like kind of make a ruckus. And she sits down next to me and she just starts chit-chatting to us, to me and the other girl. And like, just like kind of boisterous, like a little annoying, like would ask a question. So like we would both look up from our books and then be like, sorry, I don't mean to bother you. Like, did it like 6 times. Excuse me, like my phone's not working. Do you know why I can't like send a text message? Or,
That
like,
is Jude. That's exactly what my mom would do if she was with strangers.
not to this level, like not to this level. Then she's like hitting on the bartender and she's like, can you pull down your mask so we can see your face? Like can I write you a Yelp review? What's your full name? And the waiter's like so uncomfortable and we're just like, me and this girl are like exchanging looks, whatever. Eventually the girl leaves, we say goodbye, and this cute guy comes and sits down and I'm like, oh my God, like cute guy at the bar, getting a glass of wine, like let's chit chat. And so we're all, me, the lady, and the cute guy are all talking. And the lady's like, we should be on a reality show. Like,
she's a good buffer.
Great buffer, like a wing woman. Like we're all hamming it up. And then like we were there for hours. So like at some point I pull out my computer and I start doing like a little bit of work, sending some emails. And she's reading my computer over my shoulder. And she's, oh yeah, she's reading my emails and she's like, wow, you must be really busy. And I'm like, I'm trying to submit my expenses before the end of the year, lady. Like I'm just let me do some work. She's like, so where do you live? And I'm like, New York City. And she gets like kind of quiet and she's like, you must be really successful if you live in New York City. And I was like, not really successful. Like I have a good job. She goes, do you have someone at home to share all of your success with? And I'm like, I have a lot of friends, like amazing friends, amazing family. She's like, but do you have a partner? And I'm like, not right now, like not at the moment. Like, and she looks at me. I swear to God, I don't know another way to describe this. It wasn't her. It was someone else. She looks me in the eyes and she goes, all of your dreams are going to come true. And I'm like, I have the chills. I'm like, that is the nicest thing you could say to somebody. Like, thank you so much. I hope the same like happens to you. And she goes, you have a really good energy. I can just feel it. Like all of your dreams are going to come true. And I was just like,
she's had a feeling. Yeah.
Okay. And then 2 seconds later, her face comes back and she's like, Rah!
No, but she said something to you about being an angel.
Then she says, oh my God. So earlier in the conversation, she was telling me about how she was visiting her son and he has a dog and the dog has a spirit. I wasn't really following the story. Like it was a little all over the place. But she was telling me how she was so like in touch with the spirits and like the dog had spirits. I'm not really sure. But then she tells me that she was wearing like a sweater that someone had given to her that was like really meaningful. And she was like, you know, like I got this like spiritual sense from you. And I'm like, I try to be open to things. I'm not the most spiritual person at all. I just try and like keep an open mind. But it was so weird. And then, so after that whole encounter, we like, you know, chat for a little while longer. She leaves, I leave, I go to my gate. I put in my headphones and go to like press play. And the song that I'm listening to is called Angela, like Angel. And I'm like, I gotta get on this plane and go home. I don't know what's going on in Boston. I gotta go home.
You entered like a time warp, like a different dimension.
I was worried that I was gonna land and it would have been like I never came back.
You know that show Manifest?
That's what I was thinking about. I was gonna get home and everyone would be like, so what do you want to do for lunch? And I'd be like, it's 7 o'clock at night. And they were like, what are you talking about? It's noon. You never left.
You never left. Oh my God, that freaks me out. Oh my God.
So I'll keep you guys posted if all my dreams come true.
I do believe people like that are like meant to be on Earth, like guides. Like
she literally made a comment. She was like, what if I am an angel? Like, who knows? And I was like,
you met an angel.
I met an angel. It was
it's okay.
It was a crazy experience. But I also feel like I said, like sometimes you don't realize, like I don't at this moment right now in time, like I feel like I'm in a really good place, but maybe like my spirit guides or my angels or the universe just thought that I needed like a little oomph.
Yeah, I feel that way too right now. And I feel like I don't know if it has to do with like the time of year or whatever, but like I've been feeling it a lot lately. Like even, this sounds weird, but like after my live show, keep in mind I'm drunk. It's like 2 a.m. Like I get home wasted from the after party And, like, the first thing I think of is, like, wow, my poppy, who's been dead for 2 years, I'm like, would have been so proud of me. Like, and then I was like, you know what? He was watching. Like, he is proud of me. Like, he, just because my poppy, like, loved, when I used to blog and write, he would read all my articles and he was so impressed, and he would, like, pull up his iPad and show all his friends, and, like, he didn't understand what anything was, but he just was so proud of it.
The fact that he had an iPad could pull you up, like,
I know.
Don't let that go underrated.
And I was just thinking, like, he would have lit up if he could see me. And that was, like, my thought before bed. And I, like, kind of, like, looked up at the ether, and I was just like, I know he saw. And then the next day, my Aunt Joanne, who's, like, not very, like, spiritual, just emailed me out of the blue being like, you know, I couldn't stop thinking that if Poppy was there, he would have been so proud. And it was just, like, weird timing, kind of. And I was like, that was literally the last thing I thought about before I went to bed. And, like, I think we both just kind of felt, like, his presence a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we must have.
You must have. Those things, they stay with you. Like, you always think about, like, your family and, like, in all different kind of ways. I feel like also, like, as I get older, I think about, like, other family members who have passed and just, like, what they would think about, like, what we're doing now. And, like, I feel like they know. They're watching. They're here. I feel it.
It's weird. I could cry right now. Like, it's so weird when you lose a grandparent, because you're not that sad in the sense that you're like, okay, he was 91. Like, I'm so happy that for the beautiful life he lived. Mm-hmm. But even just being at my grandma's house, it makes me really sad, I think, because I feel his presence is missing and she's alone.
That's so sad.
I ran into, my mom was like, just run in and get something out of the refrigerator. And when I ran into the house, it felt it felt empty without him. And I started bawling, crying, but then I had to run back out to the car so then I was, like, wiping my tears to pretend to not, because I don't want my grandma to see me upset, but, like, I felt like felt his presence was gone. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I, like, felt his presence in the house, but I knew he wasn't there. And, like, my grandma tells me little things like, oh yeah, when Poppy and I went to prom together, like, they knew each other since they were 16. Mm-hmm. So I feel his loss, like, for her.
I don't want to, like, get too into, like, death, but, like, I just finished this, like, very spiritual book called Broken Open. If you're, like, going through a hard time, would recommend it. It's amazing, life-changing. There's a whole section, like, on death and how people don't, like, we don't talk about death really in society enough, so that becomes such, like, a sensitive, hard thing to talk about, because we're not talking about it during, like, good, normal times. And she talks about how, like, there's just a real connection between, like, whatever you believe, like the afterlife or reincarnation or nothing, like there is, like, a connection, and you do, like, feel those spirits, and, like, people do come to, like, give you a message. I don't know. I'm butchering it because I don't have it in front of me. It's called Broken Open.
Oh, the one that you just read.
Yeah.
Which is weird also, because your vision board was a lot about, like, breakthroughs and breaking open, and then you just read this book,
and, like, the butterfly metamorphosis. Like, the book talks a lot about having, like, going through, like, a phoenix process where you, like, really have to, like, you kind of, like, get burned down like a phoenix, and then you, like, rise from the ashes, and you come, like, recome alive as, like, a newer, better, stronger version of yourself. And, like, it's all about, like, how to take something, like, really traumatic or really, like, awful that kind of has happened in your life, no matter what it is, and how to, like, grow and change and learn and, like, be a better person from it all. Great book. Would definitely recommend it.
I feel like I'm rising from the ashes. Like, I feel like I can't be burned anymore.
No, you go through the phoenix process, like, a couple of times in your life. It's not just, like, one.
But I feel like I've been in it for 3 years. Mm-hmm. Like, and I feel like I don't know, I've reached a point of, like, confidence with what I do, who I am. Like, it's hard to explain because, okay, BB Rexa, did you see what she posted?
I don't follow her.
Okay, well, it made news. So BB Rexa posted this whole thing on TikTok about how she feels really unhappy because it's the heaviest she's ever been, and it's why she hasn't been present on social media, and why she just, like, isn't herself because she doesn't feel confident. And, like, I wished I could like reach out and talk to her, because like what I've learned is like it doesn't matter what you look like that's what you're putting the emphasis on. It's like how you feel as like a person. And I feel like I've made so much progress with like my confidence in that regard, and I was seeing her in the stage I was in a year ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's really interesting because I know how she feels, but if she only knew that no one else is like thinking about it as much as you are. Like, you need to just be happy with yourself. And like my therapist always says, she's like, you could look the ugliest you've ever looked in your life, but enter a room with so much confidence and people are attracted to you.
1,000%.
And it doesn't matter.
And it's kind of like what you pour your energy into, and then how you come off to other people. Like if you're coming off as self-conscious, even if you don't mean it, that people pick up on that, and then they're like, they're even subconsciously picking up on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, and I feel like, I've made like a lot of progress with that. And yeah, it was just interesting. You guys have to listen to what she was saying, but it made me sad for her because like we've all been there where you don't feel good and you want to isolate yourself.
Do you think that, like, because I think about this a lot sometimes, like if someone had reached out to me in the same situation that I was in and given me advice, like maybe I would have taken it, maybe I wouldn't have, but I feel like I had to physically myself go through the things and learn the lessons.
Me too.
Like someone else talking to me probably wouldn't have been enough for me to like get the message.
100%.
You know, like you kind of, someone else talking to me, it's like, okay, like I appreciate the solidarity in the community, but I feel like you need to like live it and fully embrace whatever it is that you're going through to come at the other side.
You learn by living through things.
And you have to go through. You can't butt around it. No shortcuts.
So as we move into 2022, I've been starting to think about the types of things I want to put on my vision board.
What a transition.
I know. And I do this for a living. And I've been thinking long and hard. And like, I think last year I was really scared to put love on my vision board because I was like, I don't want to put it there. And then if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be upset. And I just don't think that's the right mindset. Like, I even told my therapist that and she was like, well, that's not good. Like, you're almost projecting you're not going to find it. So I think I'm going to put a lot to do with love this year. And I think I'm going to really make it the year of really trying to, like, find someone. Because I feel ready.
Okay. Not to change that, but something that I've learned over the last, it's been like a year and a half probably since I started trying to, like, manifest love. And, like, if you know me, you know that I see the word love every single day, everywhere I go, at least 2-3 times a day. I used to take pictures of it, but my phone was just filled with pictures of love. Like, it was crazy. And I was trying to, like, manifest love, and I would keep trying to, like, say these little mantras. And I realized that, like, I'm not missing love in my life. Like, there is so much love in my life. I love my friends. I love my family. They love me. Like, there is so much love. So you could put love on your vision board for sure, but I feel like it's not necessarily the romantic partner fulfillment that we're looking for, like that partnership, boyfriend, relationship. Like
companionship.
Exactly. Like, I feel like those are more of the words that we want to be, like, manifesting as opposed to just, like, general love, because we already have so much love in our life. You could put love, but, like...
No, I get exactly what you're saying. Like, I want a companion.
Exactly. A companion, a partner,
so do romance. I just put a picture of a dog?
I tried!
Oh, man. Yeah, because I put last year that I wanted to fall in love with myself.
And did you?
Not fully. If I'm being frank, like... I love myself more for sure than I did the year prior, but I don't feel like I'm the shit, which I don't know if you should feel that way. What are you pulling up?
So I saw this. I saw this thing on TikTok. This I don't know. I don't even know her name. I'm sorry, but she was talking about, like, how to manifest things and, like, different, like, tips that she's used to, like, find success. And so she one of her videos was like, these are 2 questions that I ask myself every single day. And when I started thinking through this kind of like mindset and like frame of mind, things started to really change for me. So I put them as a recurring calendar event every single day so that it would like pop up in my calendar and I could see. And these are the 2 questions that she had. How would I act if I had everything I ever wanted? Which is like really thinking through like the mindset and frame of mind that like what you have, you already have what you want.
It's like gratefulness.
It's like a gratitude, but also like just envisioning that you already have it. It's like the law of attraction, like already envisioning that it's already there. Mm-hmm. And then the other question is, what would someone who already loved themselves do? So when you are, waking up thinking like, oh, should I go work out today? Like, well, what would someone who already loved themselves do? Oh, they would go work out. So like, I should probably go work out because I love myself. And I was
wow. Who is she? I need to find her.
I gotta find her. I'll find her because I saved her video. But I thought that those 2 questions could be like really, really an amazing tool to like reframing manifesting things, but also just like taking care of yourself, loving yourself, and kind of like leveling up in the next level of loving yourself.
Like being a complete being. Yeah, I love that. I love it. I'm gonna go find her. You have to send me her video and then we'll post it, guys. I think doing things like that is so important. I do think I really want to make meeting someone a priority because I am missing that like companion in my life. I think I feel like this last year of work, I just scratched the surface. I feel like I spent 8 months of my new job being timid and intimidated and scared. And like, I don't feel scared anymore. I feel just like bold and ready. And
I don't think you started this new job. It's been 1 year. Like you said, 1 year ago, you were still negotiating the contract. And in 1 year, you've built this audience, built this community, had a live show, like sold so much merch, like really been amazing.
Thank you.
And I feel like you don't give yourself, like, things don't happen overnight. And when you're building something that's really like worthwhile and really deep and authentic and true, like, it doesn't happen so quickly.
I think I put this pressure on myself, like the way like Call Her Daddy blew up. I was like, I need to be the next Alex Cooper in a different way. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm not, which is fine. But I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to like explode overnight. And
because it's possible.
And like, that's not who I am. Like, I'm not going to say like controversial things to get an audience. Like, I don't like hurting people's feelings. It scares me. But I feel more bold in the sense like I could fearlessly like go after what I want. I felt a little intimidated with like working with boys and like being at this company that's kind of controversial. And like, I just felt like it took me a really long time to get comfortable, but now I feel completely comfortable and completely myself. So I'm excited for this next year because I just feel more like confident in my capabilities in a sense.
There's a learning curve for sure. I think with any job, like even my job that is not in the public, like I remember like 6-8 months in feeling like when I first started, like why am I not like getting this so quickly, like kind of frustrated with myself that it just wasn't so easy for me. And then after a year, then you like hit your stride, and then it's just
isn't it weird how that happens? Because that happened to me with multiple jobs before being in the public eye. It takes like, I always say it takes like about 6 months, I would say,
to like really figure out like, who do I ask for help, what's the process, what am I supposed to do, for sure.
So give yourself grace if you guys have started a new job recently, especially if you started a job during COVID and it's been remote. You haven't even met these people. You don't know how tall they are in person, which really throws me for a loop. Wait, my sister said her team, since they never have met, because they all got the job over COVID, they did a Q&A and they all went around saying how tall they were. And my sister's really tall. She's like 5'8", but she's really slender. So probably on Zoom, she looks like a little petite girl. To everyone, she said was floored. They were like, what?
It's so weird to see people in person. You're like, oh my God, I forgot. Like, oh my God, you're tall.
That's really funny. Okay. Anything that you want to talk about for 2022, and then we'll get into Ask Alyssa. Like anything you really want to put out there.
Geez. I have this note in my phone that I started in 2016 with like New Year's resolutions.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and from 2016. And so always like at some point during the year I'll put like things that I want to accomplish, or like places that I want to travel, and then at the end of the year I'll go in and I'll add in like the places that I have traveled to, or like the things that I did accomplish. This was like not, I didn't think about doing this like big picture. I just kind of started and like haven't stopped.
I have one of these from college.
Really?
And some of the stuff is so lame.
Do you add to it? No, yours was like ride the subway.
Rideable. It's like hook up with an athlete.
You have to dig up that list and
I have it.
It's so good.
It's so superficial. Like, I'm such a different person. It's like make out with someone famous, like ride a mechanical bull, like line dance down south.
Have you ever ridden a mechanical bull?
Yeah.
I haven't. I want to.
Of course. Hold a monkey, cross that one off.
Okay.
No, mine is like a 12-year-old wrote it, you know? Okay, continue.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I need to spend the next couple of days like really thinking about like what I want to accomplish in 22. But I also, a part of me feels like, because I am so like...
I'm laughing that you just called it 22. I gotta think about what happens in 22. That's so
2022.
Yeah, but we should just call it 22.
Like a Taylor Swift album.
Yes.
22. I gotta think about it, I think. But I was gonna say is I kind of want to, instead of just having a list of being like, this is what I want to hit, this is what I want to do, I kind of just want to like keep an open mind and just, if anything over the last 2 years has taught us, it's like you really don't know what the fuck is going on and what is going to happen. So just trying to be open to it and like trying to say yes to things, all the time, trying to be open to new opportunities and experiences. Like that's kind of my mindset for this year.
My mindset is just living life. What's Kourtney Kardashian saying? My vibe is just living life.
I am taking a page out of Kourtney Kardashian's book. She got engaged. Anything could happen.
Seriously. All right, let's do Ask Alyssa. Jill, will you do the honors? I texted you the questions. I'll read them since I'm the narrator.
Oh my God, this is such small print.
Whoa. What phone is this?
It's just updated software.
Oh my God, my pictures don't come in like this. Okay. Hey, for Ask Alyssa, I was wondering if you can give some advice moving into the new year. I'm 25, living with my parents outside of Boston, and I'm the only one from my hometown friends.
Go to the airport.
Who still lives at home. I'm really struggling trying to find my balance between doing right with this pandemic while living with older parents, 60 plus, and also having a social life / dating life. I feel the strain of me not seeing my friends in our relationship and already am having anxiety of our changing dynamic. Do you have any tips / specific journals that have worked for you during the pandemic to navigate life in the mid-20s? Really looking for any advice on how to grow as a person and yet still maintain relationships and being an individual, moving on with my life while also still living at my parents. Love the pod. I'm really thankful to have found it during the pandemic. I guess my biggest question is, why do you live with them? Because the easy response is move out. Right?
Yeah, that's an easy response, but
let's assume you can't.
You can't. Yeah. You have to. I think, like, first of all, I think a lot of people are feeling this with, like, a strained relationship with their friends. I think a lot of people kind of moved home, are living in different cities, moved somewhere where it was
and the
cheaper.
Strain between pandemic family life and friend life.
Yeah. Like, you're not alone in that. But I do think that, like, with your friends at least, texting is one thing, but I think setting up like weekly FaceTime calls or something that's kind of like recurring and already like on your calendar, on the books, I think will be really helpful to get a little bit deeper in those conversations instead of just like a quick text like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? I think having that time set aside to like really reconnect with them will go a long way. And I think as far as dating, I almost think that I hear about a lot about this on other podcasts, like the fact that you are in a little bit of like a smaller town, like suburb outside of the city, your dating pool's a little bit smaller. But I think that you should lean into that and find other people that are kind of living in the same, lifestyle season of life as you. Lean into those dating apps. Like someone's not just gonna like walk into your parents' house and couch. Like you're not gonna meet them like that. So lean into the dating apps in the area that you're in and just try and kind of reconnect with like things that are going on in your community.
I like that advice a lot. I think also try to plan like weekends that you could stay at your friends' apartments. So you could be like, hey, like, you know, I really want to have a weekend together. Can I come for a few days or do 2 days at one friend's house, 1 day at another, and kind of make an effort to plan things and make like time for your friends. I understand though with wanting to be COVID safe with being around your parents. I personally think that's probably the biggest struggle because I'm sure your parents don't want you going out to bars and then coming home to their house. And I'm sure you don't want to be doing that either. I think that's an issue I would really run into if I was in this predicament.
Can you do something like get an Airbnb with a couple of your friends, like kind of isolated? It's the winter, like cabin situation and like...
That's why I'm trying to think like stay with them for a little or...
Like
I think... I don't know your situation for living home, but I do think the obvious next step is maybe figuring out how you can get your own place. And I think that would alleviate a lot of these problems. So maybe you make it a goal for this next year to try to figure out a way to sublet a place, or you could even like Airbnb places month by month. Like you could Airbnb something for like 2 months in the Boston area and see how that works for you. But yeah, I think everything combined should hopefully give you somewhere to start.
Good luck.
Good luck. Okay, next one. I matched with a guy on Bumble and he calls me through the app. Turns out, yeah, I think they have like FaceTiming and calling. Turns out he's a dom looking for a sub. This relationship always intrigued me, so we continued talking about what that would entail, etc. Then he switched to this role-playing thing, and we basically had phone sex. I played along, and then he just turned weird. After the spicy part was done, we just continued to talk, and he asked for me to switch the camera on so he could see my face, but he wouldn't turn his on, and I felt weird about that. Then he got really mad when I was making sarcastic jokes and saying he didn't like that I said I was lying about wanting to be in a relationship with him, and it was just wild. I'm worried that he took screenshots of me or recorded our convo. I didn't show him anything, just my face. This probably sounds so bizarre, but I'm just filled with shame. I guess good thing is that I don't think I would be good at the dom/sub thing because I can't with the dude wanting to control me. Okay, don't feel shame for something that you wanted to try. I think he sounds like a catfish, if I'm being completely honest. No shame. There's like... You gave it a try. It's not for you.
You didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, it's not illegal.
You didn't hurt anyone. No shame.
I think I understand feeling like your privacy is maybe like invaded. So maybe moving forward, first of all, it sounds to me like he kind of like probably wasn't who he said he was. So I would ask for like pictures ahead of time or try to meet the person before you like engage in this kind of like behavior moving forward. But I think in terms of just like feeling, I think, okay, this is what I could equate it to. It's like that shame that you get when you like hook up with a guy and you were like, ugh, I probably shouldn't have done that. And for whatever reason you feel like
Get that feeling.
Guilty about it. That's how I'm feeling she feels.
That's the worst feeling.
That's what I think she feels
Why
right
do we
now.
always feel like that?
Because we wanted to do it in the moment, so we did it.
I know. Yeah.
So I think you're feeling like that's what I could equate it to. And I think that's taught me that I can't have like unattached sexual encounters with people because I feel icky afterwards. Some people could do that and they feel amazing, but maybe this is just a wake-up call for you to be like, I can't be intimate with someone in that way without feeling icky afterwards. So now I need to save those types of encounters with people I feel like emotionally comfortable with.
I think that's the perfect response. Yeah.
So it's just a learning for you, really.
But also, like, don't let men make you feel icky. They are the worst. And sorry that happened to you.
Yeah. And you did it because you felt in the moment like it was right. So once you got the icky feeling, you stopped, and now you know it's not for you.
Mm-hmm. Good for you for trying and being open-minded.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Last one. This one made me laugh. Am I an asshole for bringing up to my boyfriend of 3 years that his dog is a problem in our relationship? He has had this dog for 6 years after previously getting it from someone who was supposed to put him down for attacking/biting children.
Oh my God.
I've put up with not only the aggressive behavior, but the fact that this dog was never house trained and will do his business everywhere in the house, which leads to us having to clean everything every free minute that we have. I've brought up to him multiple times how uncomfortable this dog makes me, and he's bitten me on multiple occasions. We've been looking for houses the last 2 years, but I refuse to make a commitment until the dog is gone. I don't feel comfortable putting in my hard-earned money into a house that this dog will just ruin in the end. We can never have company over at the house he owns, and now I find it extremely embarrassing. I'm at my breaking point, but I don't want to sound... Oh, but I know I sound horrible asking to get rid of the dog.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
This is an extreme case.
This is an extreme case. I'm curious, like, why your boyfriend isn't kind of noticing that it's a problem and why he isn't necessarily open to finding a trainer. I feel like it doesn't have to be so extreme as to, like, get rid of the dog or don't get rid of the dog, but there are, like, amazing boot camp style, like, trainings that you can kind of send the dog to for a couple of weeks, and he'll come back, you know, trained, or you can engage in training with you and your boyfriend and the trainer, like private lessons. Like, I feel like there are some kind of mid-level solutions here before you have to, like,
get rid of it.
Choose the dog or the boyfriend.
Also, like, I'm not sure where you live, but is there, like, a backyard situation? Like, there's, like, I know this couple that bought a dog, and it's really like a hunting dog, and they just bought that breed because that's what they liked, and then they realized after that dog really didn't belong, like, in a house. Mm-hmm. It was, like, more of an outdoor dog. And, like, are there measures that you could take, like putting a fence in and, like, letting the dog outside? Like, maybe this dog has pent-up energy and isn't meant to be in the circumstances it's in, because at some point, like, if you are an animal lover, you also have to think, like, not only is this not working for us, is this not working for the dog?
Totally.
Like, maybe the dog is miserable in that living condition. I don't think it's irrational, though. I think this would be a huge, like, issue for me.
Yeah, I don't think you're the asshole for that.
No.
But I also think, you know, for your boyfriend having the dog for 6 years, that dog's like a member of his family. Like, it's not just like a pet. So I feel like you have to be kind of sensitive to that kind of dynamic and relationship. But I think there are definitely kind of solutions here in the middle between, doesn't have to be
it's really communication. Like, look, we're looking to buy houses. I have a real concern about the dog ruining everything. And, you know, I realize you love the dog, and this is a problem, and it's become to the point where I'm embarrassed to even have people over because, like, there's urine all over the house, and it's gotten to a point where I don't really want to invest in a new house if this is going to be a reoccurring issue. So we need to come up with a solution. I'm not saying we get rid of the dog, but is there something we could do to ensure this doesn't happen?
I'm more concerned about the dog biting you. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
safety.
No idea about your circle. If you want to have, like, kids and have the dog around a baby, like, that is just,
or, like, elderly people.
Your family,
anyone. No, very real concern. Very real.
You're not the asshole.
Yeah, at all. Give us a follow-up.
Yeah, all of you, all of the.
I know.
All of these questions.
I know. We need some people to circle back with follow-ups. All right, that wraps it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Jill, thank you for being here.
When does this come out? Today?
This comes out today. We filmed it today. I just want to wish everyone a happy new year. I will be back in the new year. And then let me know if you guys want a part 2 of when we make our vision boards for 2022.
We'll see what we come up with.
To let you know what's on them.
Yeah. And Alyssa's birthday is January 4th. So if we don't hear from her then, wish her happy birthday.
Yay!
Capricorn season. Love you.
Thank you. Love you. Bye, guys.
Bye.